storm outages. There's just a whole lot of things that nature throws at us. And the last thing we want to worry about is, do we have food to eat when we've lost our electricity or when we're in a true emergency? And that's why millions and millions and millions of people have turned to Wise Food to make sure that they're ready when that emergency happens. You know, I think a lot of us in Florida who went through the hurricanes last year, there's so many people who said, oh my gosh, I wish I would have when I could have. Don't be that person, because when you're in the middle of emergency, that is the worst time to have to worry about, oh my gosh, what are we gonna eat? Or you always see the news stories of all the shelves being cleared out of milk and water and bread and all that. Don't be that person ever again. And tonight, Wise Foods is gonna solve that, because it is our best value of the day. I recommend it to everyone I know. We have 4 buckets in our house, and there's 2 of us in my house, because we want to help others if they're in need in emergency as well. All right, so what do we do with this one? This is really cool this year. What we've done is, you get the famous bucket, you get an immense amount of servings, which we'll get into all the details, but here's what we did for the very first time. Everybody loves what we usually sell separately, which is the vegetables and the fruits and some of the puddings. Well, we actually have now included these in this special configuration. And this is a really, really big deal, because for last year's hurricane season, I bought a water straw. So literally, we could drink out of our pool if we have to. I'm that ready, right? The straw cost about $80, and it was just a straw. You got to suck out of it. Wise has now, for the first time in years, included the water filtration bottle that is really high end, because you'll find other filtration bottles, and what they'll say is they only do certain things. Wait till you see what this does, and it's over 100 gallons that it will clean for you and make basically puddle water drinkable water. Amazing, right? This is the first time we've included it with the bucket configuration. So there's a lot of good stuff in this today's special. Well, we've got a lot to tell you, of course. There's a lot to get into. And of course, I'm going to be joined by Stephanie. Oh, by 100, like, look at this. I'll just prove it to you. Just here at HSN, over 630,000 Wise products have been sold here. So we're talking millions and millions of people trust their lives. Literally, Stephanie, if you think about it, millions of people worldwide trust their lives and their family's health to Wise Food.
Absolutely.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. It's been a big deal for us here. And this is an American company. This is all made in the United States. Everything that you ask for and order tonight and tomorrow literally leaves the warehouse within 48 hours. It is freshly made. It is waiting, because it's that important for Wise and all of us, really, to be ready for what's to come. I am so excited about this configuration because it's completely different than anything we've done before. The concept of Wise Food is that no matter what's happening in your life, you have to eat. So Wise makes it possible for you to have great tasting food ready at any moment. All you do is add water, no cooking is required, and it has a long shelf life. So that means whether you're dealing with a power outage, whether you've had to have an evacuation, whether you're camping, this is recreational as well. This is great tasting food that you can grab and go. I do like to start by talking a little bit about how Wise Food is made, because this is what really sets Wise Food apart from anything you have ever thought about emergency food. I know what you did. You heard the words emergency food and thought, ew, gross. Erase that from your mind. This is actually called gourmet emergency food, because the first thing that happens in the Wise factory is that they employ chefs. These are chef-inspired recipes. They have the perfect blend of spices. They have real food ingredients. They're not amped up with carbs. They're not full of artificial flavors and chemicals. It is real food. What makes Wise so special is the ability for these packages to last. They are packaged in what's called a modified atmospheric package. Now, what's that mean to you? Wise has figured out this technology that because of their packaging, they can seal out humidity, they can seal out moisture, they can seal out oxygen. These are all things that make food go bad. In this pouch, those great tasting flavors are safe for up to 25 years. I know it sounds crazy. It's all about the pouch, and that's what makes Wise different. But I do like to talk about the fact that it's gourmet emergency food.
Very good.
I know you have done this over and over again. This is the beef stroganoff.
Yes.
So I'll beg you to take a bite.
Hold one just a second.
Hold, I will hold.
Because I'm on Facebook, and we're doing Facebook Live every night at midnight and throughout the day now. What I really love about it is you can do shout outs. I'll say hi to you, but I really love to ask Stephanie questions. We've gotten so many cool questions at midnight. Some things we'll certainly get to, but if you have a question information about this, please go on Facebook. And I just want to say, Sandy says she likes this. Yes, it is good. Gabby, who's one of our single gals on the crew tonight, she looked at me and she said, I really should probably get this. And I said, Gabby, oh my gosh, you live in Florida. Yes, I mean, I think everybody should have it, but for those of us who are Texas and Louisiana and Florida and all those states that are affected by hurricane weather, and then you've got tornadoes out in the Midwest, you know, my home state of Ohio, tons of bad weather up there. You've got winter issues for everybody up in the up states, you know. There's always something going on, unfortunately, everywhere. I mean, think about poor Hawaii. Who would have thunk you'd be out because you got lava flowing through your streets? I mean, it's just crazy, weird stuff, but be ready and be prepared. And we love, if you have Wise as well already, please go to Facebook. We're doing it live together, so I'm reading your comments, and I'd love to hear why you picked it up. And more importantly, what made you do it? What was that moment? Was it, oh my gosh, I survived something and I'll never be without it? Or are you being proactive and doing it beforehand? So I'd love you to chat with me on Facebook if you can.
The stories are amazingly heartwarming because you realize that Wise is there when you need it most. Okay, we're going to talk about what you get in this offer. I love the diversity. 124 total servings. That includes 5 lunch and dinner style entrees, you know, your heartier foods that you can truly use as a meal. It also includes 2 breakfast style entrees, the hot cereals. Then there's the ability to make whey milk, which is so important in many ways. We will talk about that. 2 desserts, because come on, dessert is always important. Yogurt and chocolate pudding, which by the way is an HSN exclusive. I think the host demanded chocolate. That's my personal opinion. But here's what makes this offer different than anything we've ever done before. 2 different kind of fruits in the grab-and-go bucket. 2 different types of vegetables, never before included here at HSN.
And those have always been sold separately.
Yes.
The only way you could get it was sold separately, and you can't get anywhere else. And we get the water bottle. We haven't even told you how supreme that water bottle. If you just got it for the water bottle, it's almost worth it. It's huge.
Sure, because that's such a game changer.
Camping, hiking, that's just for regular everyday life, let alone getting the bucket with all the food.
Exactly.
Okay, so really quickly, I just want to say, Abby says, love this, super handy, of course. Tina says, hello. Frank says, hey, great product. Chris says, this is awesome. Definitely a great value. And Chris, I want to add to that. If you go to Wise's website right now, you can get, it's 52 servings. Listen to this, for $89. 52 for $89. We're at 120, what, 4? For $99.95. So we've actually more than doubled it, and clearly we're only $10 more than what the 52 servings are. I just wanted to share that, Chris, because you're absolutely right. It is a phenomenal value tonight, and it's a big deal, and I'm glad you recognize that, so thank you. All right,
okay,
so I shall eat.
Lots to get to.
You got to put it on my iPad.
All right, we'll serve it on the iPad.
It's like a little serving
I think that's okay.
I'm going to.
I'm sure we do this at my house, and I don't know it.
I'm running out of hands.
I understand. So I want Suzanne to take a bite of the stroganoff and talk to me about texture and seasoning.
It's so good.
Texture good?
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, that's one of those things when you do, quote-unquote, instant
dried food.
Yeah, it gets slimy, funky. We're all...
Or really grainy. Like, you're like...
Any
really
of the above is not okay.
Kind of gagging it down. No, it actually tastes like the real thing. Like, if someone didn't tell me, I would not know this wasn't from somebody's kitchen.
And that's what Wise prides itself upon, that the chefs have figured out how to season and how to make the textures so that this tastes like stroganoff. I've made stroganoff from scratch. There's a million ingredients in it. You have to whip the sour cream just right, or it, you know, gets all curdy in the sauce. They've figured out how to do it just by adding water. So here's what I need you to understand about everything we're going to make. Yes, you see our pots sitting on burners. The only reason that we are heating up the water is just to speed up the process. If I was in a true emergency situation, I could take a pot with water, as long as I know it is potable, safe to drink, and we can solve that problem for you too. All I do is add the food to the water. That is it. So this does not have to cook. It does not have to be hot water. If the water's room temperature, might take 15 minutes for something like these beans to reconstitute. If the water's warm, it's gonna take a little bit closer to 5 to 8 minutes. So all the warmth of the water does is speed up the reconstituting of the food. It doesn't need to cook. And that is a huge difference between Wise and other of the quote-unquote emergency foods on the market. A lot of them need to cook.
Right.
I don't want a food that has to cook if I'm in a situation where I don't have any heat, I don't have any power, I don't have a gas burner. The only thing you need is water. Now, let's talk about water. Coming to you in this offer, is the one I want to show, is the water bottle. This is a water filtration bottle. So this bottle is 28 ounces. It has the ability to filter 100 gallons of water with each filter. The filters are removable. We also have the filters as an upsell, additional filters that you can pick up.
But you get one with our unit.
But you get one. The big deal about this is
that page.
Exactly. By having this micro filtration system bottle, any contaminants that would be in your drinking water due to maybe the system is shut down. You see on the TV news during disasters, not safe to drink, don't cook with it. Guess what? When you have a microfiltration system, you can make your drinking water safe. Those are the contaminants it's taking out. Those are the chemicals it's taking out. Those are the dissolved solids it is taking out. This is the first time that we have offered a water filtration bottle within our grab-and-go bucket. What I love about this so much, this is truly everything you need. You've got not just the good tasting meals, but now you've got vegetables. Now you've got fruits. Now you've got ability to make safe water.
But think about this, a lot of times when you grab and go, it's an emergency, you gotta get in the car. We had lines, you know, people lined up on the highways forever and ever and ever. You have to grab the bucket and you have to grab a whole bunch of water and put it in your car. Now it doesn't matter. Any water you have around you, even a puddle, you actually can use it through this filtration system and cook with it and drink it. So now that's actually one less thing you have to drag around with you and worry about, is especially when they sell it off all the water.
It was the hardest thing to find. Obviously, I'm well stocked with my survival kit. We did go through a hurricane here in Florida last year. It was water. I went to 6 different stores. You know, I have some, but I just kept thinking it's not enough. What if it's not enough? Because you need water to make the food. So this solves the problem. Had our municipal system gone down, I would be able to get safe, potable water through this filtration bottle. So I want to show you. I'm going to have you hold this for me, and we'll let them decide where they're going to get a good shot of it. In this bottle right now, it's dirt, like literal potting dirt. So it's nasty.
Mulchy dirt.
Mulchy, muddy, nasty dirt. Watch what the filtration system can do for me.
Isn't that crazy?
And it is coming out crystal clear. Now, obviously, it comes out better when you're actually drinking it and there's the suction through the straw. But you can, I will drink it, absolutely. Okay, so here's the bud.
Drink it. How's it taste?
Sure. Tastes like water. Tastes
funny.
perfectly
look,
fine. Look at the bottle.
Dirt, guys. It's packed with dirt, too, by the way.
I don't really want to think about what's in it since I'm now drinking it. But you know what? I trust it. Thank you for calling me out on that. By the way, you drink it.
Yeah, you think it's that good? You're going to drink it.
You know what?
I got to get to some great comments, too. We'll keep cooking here. Shoshana said, this would be awesome back during Hurricane Sandy, especially living on the water. You are absolutely right, for sure. This is Kaija. I hope I said it right. It's very important to be prepared for a disaster, and this is a great way to start. Martin, God bless you, he says, I can totally use this in Afghanistan. He said, the food sucks here. So Martin, if you're there with the military, which I'm making an assumption because I don't know, thank you for what you do for us.
Absolutely.
And yes, you're absolutely right, it would be good.
It is not MRE food, let me tell you that.
It's totally not MRE.
Totally
not. I actually sent this to my son because I knew he wasn't eating proper at school. And I thought, well, at least he can eat a little better. And it took him nothing to make it. So for me as a busy mom and him as a busy kid, I was like, well, at least we eat something decent. Also, Ben said, I love this. Ben said, would these be good for scouting troops to bring along on campouts?
Absolutely. So we are, of course, making this a preparedness event to bring this to you. But in terms of the rest of the year, when hopefully you're not dealing with emergency situations, think about it. It's a pouch. It's lightweight. It is a full meal. It is shelf stable. You can throw it in your backpack. You can throw it in your packing roll for your camping trips. You can take it up the mountain if you're hiking, if you're camping, if you're heading out in the boat. All you need to do is add water. Now, if you're camping and you're a Boy Scout and you have the ability to make a fire and make the water hot, you probably will think they taste a little bit better heated. Most meals do. But the bottom line is, if you don't have the ability to make a fire, if it's pouring down rain, these are my camping memories, it's pouring down rain, you can't make the fire, and you still need to eat, guess what? It'll be just fine. Great for camping.
Good question, Ben. Lynn says, I buy this at least twice a year and add to my collection for emergency supplies. Good idea, Lynn. You're so smart and so prepared. Alice said, do you have vegan or a gluten-free kind?
You know what? Not in this offering, but if you go to the Wise website, and I believe HSN.com also should have some, there are gluten-free options.
Okay, Sharon says, I love Wise. We buy buy to be prepared, but I've tried it. It's great. It's a great price. Thank you. Kelly says, oh, what are the type of desserts?
Oh, well, let's talk about desserts. So the two desserts included, one of them is right in front of me, are vanilla yogurt, and the other one is chocolate pudding. And I'm glad we brought up chocolate pudding because that is something that we can make right here. And Suzanne's like, bring out the chocolate.
I found it down here, too.
She's going to eat. I want to show you, though, this all has to do with the consistency of Wise's food. Absolutely everything. Whether I'm talking about creamy pasta rotini, and we will go over all these dishes in a minute.
So good.
She just dug right into the sample. Or whether I'm working with pudding. I want to show you how well made this is so the consistency comes together. So if you make pudding, if you make the instant pudding at home, you have to beat it with a high quality beater to get the lumps out. If you make it on the stove, you have to stir and stir and stir. Watch how quickly this is coming together. Not a lump to be seen. The creamy consistency will be there. And just so Suzanne knows that we didn't cheat on the sample one she just ate, you're gonna get another spoonful right out of this.
Okay.
Just so you can see. But the point of this is those
I knew you wouldn't cheat.
Yeah, that's all right. Those Wise chefs, when they put together these recipes, are so concerned with consistency, are so concerned with flavor, are so bent on having this taste exactly like it would if it were homemade.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Like, you really won't tell the difference. If you shut your eyes and you put down a homemade one and this version, you'd have a very difficult time telling the difference between the two.
Absolutely.
All right, so we have she asked a question that she says, Kathy says, so once you cook the meal and there's any leftovers, how do you preserve the leftovers without electricity? Well, think about this. You don't have to use the whole packet at once.
Right.
So the packet's gonna stay nice and fresh. Just close up the packet. Just use what you need. So you don't have to worry about leftovers, right?
Yeah,
Would you recommend that?
I would definitely not recommend making the entire pouch and then trying to keep it shelf
stable. It's a lot of servings.
It is. So, and that's something else that we should talk about. When we talk about 124 servings, I'm going to do a little dividing like it's a pie here. This would be a 4-serving pouch. Look at the expanse of what we are considering one serving. And that's important to me that you know that. So when we say you're getting 124 servings,
that quarter, that big quarter is one serving.
Yeah, you're not getting a little 1/4 cup, 3 bites of food serving. This is 124 meaty, substantial, filling servings. And that's what Wise is all about.
Doris, dairy-free option, check hsn.com.
Yes, check hsn.com and the Wise website. There are dairy-free options out there.
Such good questions. Let's see. We're not gonna get that. Oh, she's saying, it's a good question. Hi, Andrea from Boca. How are we supposed to cook with no electricity? I bought a kit last year. Saw the video. She's cooking on a flat glass stove, not used an item in Florida unless you grill or have a generator sitting around.
I know exactly what she's asking. You don't have to heat the water.
Don't heat the water.
All you need is water. Yes, we're sitting on a burner because I'm trying to speed these up a little bit for you. They reconstitute more quickly when the water is warm, but you do not have to heat your water. So in a true emergency situation, don't worry about it. These are going to be good to go. Do we have a second to take a look at all the different varieties of food?
Oh, sure. Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Let's do that from above.
Wait, let me get
oh, yeah, here comes the spoonful of the test of the chocolate pudding. 3 minutes?
Good.
All right, 3 minutes of effort, and she's good to go. All right, so with 124 servings, we have 5 different, really meal-type entrees. The lunch and dinner, stick-to-your-ribs, hearty kind of entrees. The savory stroganoff, and this is one that we've already made live here for you. Creamy, the right consistency for the noodles. You can see the large pieces of the mushrooms and the spicing in there because, again, this isn't just some bland, creamy white dish. This is meant to be stroganoff with levels of flavor. Next to the stroganoff, you'll see the apple cinnamon oatmeal. That is one of the 2 breakfast entrees that is included. 4 servings there. Big old servings of the barbecued beans. I gotta tell you, I have a pot of these going here, waiting for them to reconstitute.
That just makes you feel good.
Oh, and the smell coming out of these. I mean, again, this is not a bland bag of beans. These are seasoned so that, you know, beans, they stick with you and they fill you up, and they're a great source of protein. This is not like opening a can of beans and not recognizing the first 15 ingredients because they're chemicals and preservatives. This is the real deal. Okay. Vegetables. This is the first time we've ever included 2 fruits and 2 vegetables in our grab-and-go kit. What this means to me is that if I'm in a situation where I can't get produce, I can't get to the store, I've had to evacuate, you know, situations like the extreme flooding, and there's been evacuations all week in Colorado because of the wildfires. Thousands of people left their homes. You can feed your family complete meals. You're not just getting by with this bucket. complete meals, fruits, vegetables, those are the peas that are included, and they also come with the sauce.
And the water. That water bottle's huge, you guys. If you can look at an outdoor camping store, or you go to like an outdoor catalog where they're looking for water filtration systems, they're very expensive. I bought a straw that was like $89 for my husband because he had to ride out the hurricane down here. I thought, well, he can suck the pool water. I really did. No, I really did.
It's a good thought.
I thought
you have to have water.
It's a straw, and you got to get down in there and do that. And it was very expensive, but I wanted to be able to purify the water completely. You're getting that included with this, which is amazing. And you saw that list of all the benefits and what it will clean. All right, so we have a call. Is Janice still there? Did I lose her? Oh, I'm sorry, Janice, honey.
Janice, we apologize.
I love this. Lisa, she says, hello from Ohio. My husband and I have 2 of these. He's always thinking ahead. We also have water stored. Also got to love him for thinking of us. Absolutely. And I think for husbands, wives, moms, dad, grandparents, whoever, yourself, it's a sense of real security. Like, you don't have to ever think about it. We bought our Wise years ago. It's 25-year shelf life. We bought ours when we first launched it, and I've never had to worry about it again. And it's such a relief. There's such a sense of security knowing that I don't have to run to the store and be like all the crazy people in line trying to grab the last bottles of water, trying to grab the last bags of milk.
And it's peace of mind in knowing that once you make the decision to fill out your preparedness kit with food, that it'll always be there for you. I mean, think about all the other things that you prepare for. We have to have car insurance, right? I mean, that's required most of the point because just in case. We have medical insurance, just in case. I bet you have homeowners insurance to protect your home if there's a storm, but what are you doing for food insurance? Basically, I look at this as food insurance no matter what happens. There were 2 tornadoes that touched down, now confirmed, I just read from National Weather Service, in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania yesterday. That is a pretty unusual location to have 2 tornadoes in June.
Wow.
Right now, Colorado is dealing with the raging fires. We know about the volcanoes in Hawaii. They called the hurricane floods in Houston last year a generation experience flood, meaning something like that only happens once in generations. You know, stuff happens. That's what the bottom line of all this is. We are in the midst of the heart of tornado season. We are heading into the heart of hurricane and storm season. Already had our first named storm in the Atlantic. I believe they're on their 2nd in the Pacific. The point of the matter is every single year storms happen. Will they happen where you are this year? I hope not. But if they do, whether it's this year, next year, 10 years from now, 25 years from now, you bring the survival food, you bring the emergency food into your home, and you've checked it off the list. You don't have to keep checking it off year after year. What I love is that we do have repeat customers. In fact, my kids were so funny. They asked me tonight, well, Mom, you've kind of done this a few times. Is there anybody that hasn't bought it yet? And I thought, you know what, that is a great question, because I hope there isn't anybody that hasn't bought it yet, because that's why we're here, is to help you prepare. But what we've learned is that you may bring some camping, because it does taste great and it is easy to take for recreational purposes, or you may be having a night where you've got a splitting headache and you've worked all day and the kids are dying for dinner, and you think, you know what, tomato basil soup would be exactly what everybody could eat tonight. Aren't those gorgeous?
Oh my gosh. By the way, speaking of that though, Nellie says on Facebook, I like this because I'm disabled and I can't always cook, so it's very convenient for me to have on hand.
Good point.
Thank you, Nellie. That's another really good example. My son wasn't eating good food at all, so I sent him a pack to college and I said, eat it. And it came out to, what was it? Like, we were thinking like $1 a meal or something like
80
cents a meal. A serving. That's right. That's not even a whole meal. That's a serving, which is a good size, right? And I thought, wow, that's the most inexpensive way for him to eat at school. That's for sure.
And it's real food. You know, that is what I can't say enough. These are real flavors with real food. We took a pretty good tour of the first table. I want to do it again down here on our second table. Remember, 5 different lunch and dinner entrees, 2 breakfast cereals. Right now, you're looking at the pasta Alfredo. This is another one of the favorites within the Wise collection. What you see in front of you is 4 complete servings. What you see in the pan that I'm stirring is one that I literally put water in less than 5 minutes ago. You can already see how nice this has thickened up into exactly the consistency that I would want a pasta dish to be. I'm getting these to reconstitute in about 5 minutes because I'm using warm water. In an emergency, you have room temperature water, you have ice cold water, whatever. It works, it tastes just fine, it just takes a little longer.
Blanca, real quick, it's 25 years shelf life, 25 years. That's pretty crazy, right? All right, let's say hi to Gail in Kentucky. She's on with us live. Hi, Gail, thanks for joining us.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so glad that your program is on tonight. I've been fortunate to catch it for the last 2 or 3 years, and I've ordered a number of times, you know, and I've been real satisfied with the products.
Oh, good, good. Now, why do you order it?
Well, you know, for years I've been into canning and freezing and food drying, but you know, so I've always tried to think of things that I can do to help, you know, get the family through during the winter months and so on. But, you know, with the way things have been coming as far as flooding and natural disasters and everything else, it has me really concerned, as it does, I'm sure, a lot of other people out there.
Well, you're very smart to prepare, Gail, because here's the thing. By the time that flood gets to your street, should it ever happen, then it's too late.
Right.
Then you can't get to the food, and you can't get what your family needs. So I love that you're thinking ahead.
That's smart.
Well, you know, like I said, I've been through a tornado and I've been through a hurricane, and it makes you, it's an eye-opening experience, you know.
Sure.
But I want to plug one other thing. You got a facial bottle in with this, the 124-serving package, and I can't say enough positive things about the facial product, you know, the bottle. I have ordered some of these bottles before, and so to get that in with the bucket of food is a great buy.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it?
I paid $25 a bottle, which was cheap, you know, when I ordered them before.
That's exactly right. And a lot of those bottles that are inexpensive, that say they filter the water, don't filter. There's different levels of filtration. And so a lot of the inexpensive ones are really not good filtrators, unfortunately.
That's right.
Well, thank you, Gail. It was wonderful chatting with you. I appreciate you sharing the story. This is a bigger deal than you even imagine. Also, too, think about it. If you're just spending a ton of money on bottled water just to drink pure water, even if you just use it, it's 100 gallons. If you use this every day just for your everyday